Stop trying to budget. Seriously, stop right now. You cannot budget your way out of a structural crisis. You cannot use coupons and cashback apps to beat a system that was designed millimeter by millimeter over decades to extract every drop of your sweat and every cent of your future. The game board has completely changed. The pieces have moved. The rules were rewritten while you slept. But you keep moving your pawns as if we were still in the 90s, expecting the result to be the same as your parents had. The brutal truth, the one that makes your stomach turn, is that the middle-class life you saw in the movies, the one with the white picket fence, 2 cars in the driveway, and vacations at Disney, is over. It has been replaced by a high-speed, brutal, and ruthless rat race where the prize is no longer prosperity, but merely the right to survive another month without being evicted from your own existence. But there is a way out. I didn't say it is easy. I said it exists. There is a narrow, difficult, steep, and lonely path that leads to real freedom. Few find it because they are too busy looking sideways. Fewer still have the courage to walk it because it requires sacrifices that society considers madness. Today, I am going to give you the map of this minefield. I am Buck, and the class on your survival begins now. Let's start by dissecting the corpse of the real estate dream, because this is where the system reveals its cruelest face. This is where the gears grind the meat of the working class. The median home price in the United States today hovers around $400,000 in markets where jobs actually exist, where the economy pulses, where civilization happens. That number is just the entry point. It is the cover charge. We are not talking about mansions with Olympic pools and golden gates. We are talking about a starter home. 3 cramped bedrooms that need painting. Maybe a garage if you're lucky. In a neighborhood where the schools are decent enough that your kids don't have to fight MMA in the parking lot in 8th grade to secure their lunch, here's the problem no one wants to admit. The math of exclusion. Before the pandemic, half of the homes on the market were affordable for a median income buyer. Half. It was a fair game. If you worked, you bought. Today, only 21%, 1/5 of the market. Read that again in your mind and let it sink in. 80% of the real estate market has become a no-go zone for the middle class, a restricted area for the rich and the heirs. Interest rates went from 3% to over 7%. And I have bad news for the optimists. Even if they drop a little, they will never go back to rock bottom. The era of free money is over. The banquet was served, and now the bill has arrived. The monthly payment on that $400,000 house is today $1,000 more expensive than it was just 4 years ago. $1,000 more every month for 30 years. That is $360,000 of extra money, evaporated in interest, money that doesn't buy bricks, doesn't buy land, doesn't buy anything. It just rents the bank's money. And what do people do in the face of this wall of impossibility? What does the normal human being programmed by the system do? He doesn't retreat. He stretches. He contorts himself. He juggles. He convinces himself in an internal conversation full of lies that spending 45 or 50% of his gross income on housing is temporary. He says, I'll refinance when rates drop. I'll get promoted. He signs the contract with a trembling hand, but with a smile on his face. And the moment the ink dries on the paper, he becomes a prisoner. You are not building equity when half your paycheck disappears into a mortgage before you even see the color of the money. You are just surviving. You are a bank employee who lives in the office. You are renting money at an exorbitant cost to keep up appearances of success for neighbors who don't even know your name. You are one layoff, one medical emergency, one car transmission problem away from receiving an eviction notice from your own life. The housing trap is brutal because it is the foundation of everything, but it is just the beginning. Let's talk about cars, because this is where people commit voluntary financial suicide and still smile for the photo on Instagram. The average payment for a new car in America has surpassed $700. Trucks? The ones everyone wants to have? We are talking about $1,200 a month. Do the cold math. A 7-year loan, 84 months of servitude. You will pay $130,000 for a vehicle that, on the day you finally own the title, will be worth $15,000. You burned over $100,000 to go from point A to point B with heated seats. But everyone does it, right? Look at the road. Everyone has a new car. Everyone looks happy. It is normal. And here is what I need you to burn into your soul with a branding iron so you never forget. Normal is broken. Normal is a diagnosis of terminal bankruptcy. Being normal today means being permanently trapped in a cycle where you pay compound interest to banks for the privilege of looking successful while you bleed internally. You have two choices, and only two. You can afford to be weird, or you can afford to be normal. You cannot be both. You have to choose whether you want to look rich or whether you want to be free. The Economic Policy Institute released a recent study that should be read in every school. For a single person to live comfortably in 2026, they need $100,000 annually. For a family with 2 kids, the number jumps to $280,000. These are not luxury lifestyle numbers. This isn't caviar, champagne, and trips to the Maldives. This is rent in a safe place, food that doesn't kill you with cancer at 50, childcare so you can work, health insurance that actually covers something, and maybe a week of vacation that doesn't involve sleeping in the car. Traditional middle-class life now requires an income that 10 years ago would be considered elite wealth. The bar went up, but your jump stayed the same. So, what is the alternative? What do you do when the ground disappears beneath your feet? How do you build wealth when the foundation has collapsed and the roof is falling? You start by accepting a truth no one wants to hear. A bitter, dry, hard-to-swallow truth. Reaching your first $100,000 in savings is going to take forever. And it's going to be awful. It's going to be boring. It's going to be lonely. If you invest $500 a month at an 8% return rate, it won't take 7 years. It will take 10 years and 8 months. A lost decade. A decade of no's. During this entire period, you will be doing all the heavy lifting. Compound interest? It's not your friend yet. It barely knows you exist. It is a distant promise. You are pushing a giant 2-ton rock up a hill in the dark, in the rain, with mud up to your knees. And every time you look up, the top seems further away. Most people quit here. Most look at the balance of $19,000 after 3 years of sacrifice and say, "Screw it, life is short. I'm buying the new car." And they die on the beach. They go back to the base of the mountain and chain the rock to their ankle. But there is a specific milestone that changes everything, and it comes way before the 100,000. It is the magic number of $20,000. $20,000. This is the inflection point. It is the border between slavery and sovereignty. It is where you transition from survival mode to growth mode. Until you have $20,000 in liquidity, every unexpected expense is an existential crisis. The car breaks, crisis, panic, toothache, crisis, physical and financial pain. The heater dies, crisis, cold and fear. You make decisions based on fear, adrenaline, and cortisol because you have no margin for error. You live on a knife's edge. But when you cross the 20,000 line, something changes in your brain chemistry. That same $2,000 car repair? It's annoying, sure. No one likes spending money on mechanics, but it's not a disaster. It doesn't ruin your month. It doesn't keep you awake. You pay. Life goes on. The sun rises the next day. You don't need to call your parents crying. You don't need to humiliate yourself asking for an advance. You don't need to use the credit card with 20% interest that will enslave you for months. This psychological shift is worth more than gold. It is worth more than any investment. You start making decisions based on opportunity, not desperation. You can negotiate a better salary because you aren't terrified of the idea of going 2 weeks without pay. You have bargaining power. You can invest in yourself, pay for a course, learn a skill. You can look at the horizon instead of looking at your own feet, trying not to trip. And this leads us to the order of operations, Buck's war protocol. Because this is where most people, including smart people, fail catastrophically due to lack of strategy. If you have credit card debt at 22% a year and you are putting money in the stock market expecting to earn 8%, you are not an investor. You are a money donor to the bank. You are their favorite client. You are losing 14% a year, guaranteed. It is a mathematical hemorrhage. You're trying to fill a bucket that has a tennis ball-sized hole in the bottom, and you are wondering why the water level never rises. Pay off the toxic debt first. Kill it. Destroy it with hatred. Attack it as if your life depended on it, because it does. This isn't sexy advice. It won't make you rich overnight. It doesn't involve crypto or artificial intelligence or day trading, but it is a guaranteed return that beats any Wall Street hedge fund manager. The only exception? The only one. The match from your company on the retirement plan. If your boss offers to double what you deposit up to a certain limit, that is free money. It is 100% immediate return. It is stupid not to take it. Take everything you can. But other than that, every extra dollar must be a soldier sent to the front lines to kill your consumer debt. Without mercy. Now, I know what you are thinking. I can hear your thoughts from here. Buck, this seems impossible. How am I going to save $500 a month if I can barely pay the rent? At the end of the month, nothing is left. The answer will hurt. It will wound your ego. You have to stop pretending you can afford the life you are living. You need to accept the naked, raw reality, the life you lead today, the apartment where you live, the car you drive, the food you order, the subscriptions you don't even use. You cannot afford it. Not because you are irresponsible, not because you are bad with money or dumb, but because the math broke. The system failed you. Your rent consumes 40% of your income when the rule says it should be 25. Your car costs more per month than your parents' first mortgage cost in the 90s. Your grocery bill doubled in 4 years. You are not living in luxury. You are not splurging. You're living normally, and normal has become unsustainable. Normal is the new poor. So, what does cutting expenses mean in practice? I'm not talking about making your own laundry detergent, reusing coffee filters, or cutting Netflix. That's crumbs. That's distraction. I am talking about structural, painful, radical, and deep changes. Can you get a roommate? I know, you are 35, you work hard. It seems humiliating to go back to sharing an apartment like a college student. Your ego screams, I am an adult. I deserve to live alone. I deserve my privacy. Do it anyway. Swallow your ego. Sharing rent saves $600 to $1,200 a month in many cities. That is $7,000 to $14,000 a year free in your pocket. In 5 years, that is $70,000 of accumulated capital. $70,000 invested at 8% turns into almost $300,000 in 20 years. You traded your momentary pride and your absolute privacy for $250,000 and your future freedom. Is it worth it? And the car? That SUV that makes you feel safe, powerful, and respected in traffic? It is killing you. It is a vampire in your garage. Sell it. Get rid of it. Buy a Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla that is 3 or 4 years old cash for $12,000. It will get you to work just the same. The AC works the same. The radio plays the same music. The difference is it doesn't come with a $50,000 anchor tied to the bumper dragging your future to the bottom of the sea. But here comes the hardest part, the part that separates the sovereigns from the masses, the psychological part, the social cost of freedom. Your coworkers will judge you. They will whisper. They will see you arriving in an old car and think, poor guy, things must not be going well for him. Did he get demoted? Your family will make passive-aggressive comments at Christmas about how Cousin Junior changed cars again. You will feel like you are moving backward while everyone moves forward, shines, and consumes. Let them think. Let them think you are broke. Let them think you failed. Use their judgment as fuel. While they finance the appearance of wealth, handing their future to the bank, you are building an empire in silence. You are building solid foundations while they paint the facade of a house that is falling down. You will have dinner with friends who just bought a house financed over 30 years, and they will talk about renovations, decoration, and property appreciation. And you will go back to your shared apartment in a used car. It will seem like you are losing the game of life. But you aren't. They are spending their future today. You are buying your future back dollar by dollar. Let's talk about time. The timeline of freedom. 7 years and 9 months to save $100,000 seems like an eternity. It is a long time. It is almost a decade. But do you know what is longer? 40 years trapped in a job you hate, with a boss who disrespects you because you can't afford to leave even for a month. 40 years of anxiety on Sunday night. Choose your hard. The heart of discipline or the heart of regret. The mistake people make is treating the first 20,000 as if they were irrelevant. Oh, it's little money. It changes nothing. Can't even buy a new car. Wrong, wrong, wrong. These 20,000 are the most important money you will accumulate in your entire life. More important than your first million, because they change your decision framework. They change the lens through which you see the world. Before this threshold, the question is, how do I survive this week? After this threshold, the question is, how do I build next year? This is what financial advisors call risk tolerance. They think it's about your personality, whether you are aggressive or conservative. It isn't. It's about your bank account. Having 20,000 saved doesn't change who you are. It changes what you can afford to risk. You can risk changing careers. You can risk asking for a raise. You can risk telling the truth. And this is where the concept of wealth geometry comes in. After you stop bleeding, after you build the 20,000 shield, after you eliminate the toxic debt that drains your life, the machine starts to spin. The first 100,000 takes 10 years of sweat. The second 100,000 takes only 5. The third, 4. When you reach $500,000, you are adding $100,000 to your net worth every 2 years, without increasing your contribution, just with the force of financial gravity. The rock reaches the top of the mountain and gravity reverses. Now it doesn't push you down. Now it pulls money toward you, but you need to survive the desert crossing first. Success in 2026 isn't having a big house, a brand new car, or designer clothes. Success is having walking away money. It is the ability to look into the eyes of an abusive boss and smile calmly because you know you don't need him to pay the electric bill. It is not having golden handcuffs. It is waking up knowing that if the world ends tomorrow, if there is a crisis, if everything goes wrong, you have months, maybe years of guaranteed peace. This is wealth. Everything else is expensive decoration, fragile ego, and debt disguised as success. The system was designed to keep you running. More income generates more expenses. It is Parkinson's law of finance. The promotion comes with new consumption expectations. The salary increase is absorbed by lifestyle inflation before it even hits the account. You are on a treadmill that speeds up every time you think you are reaching the carrot. The only way out is to stop playing their game and start playing yours. You can follow the herd toward financial slaughter, complaining that life is expensive. Or you can do the math, make the hard choices, ignore others' opinions, and build something real. The choice has always been yours. Most people just never realize they are choosing to be poor every day by trying to look rich. The uncomfortable truth, and I need to be honest with you, is that most people will ignore everything I just said. They will listen to this audio, nod their heads, feel a pang of motivation for 36 hours, and then they will finance a truck they can't afford because the neighbor bought one and they felt inferior. They will convince themselves they are different, that math doesn't apply to them, that this time it will work out, that I deserve it. It won't. The economy of 2026 was not designed for your success. It was designed to extract maximum profit from your anxiety about falling behind. Every ad, every Instagram post, every well-meaning relative asking, when are you going to buy a house? All of them are pushing you toward decisions that benefit everyone except you. The bank wins when you stretch the mortgage rope and pay interest for 30 years. The dealership wins when you sign the 7-year contract and trade cars every 3. The government wins with your consumption and property taxes. The entire system profits from your obedience and your ignorance. But there is one thing they cannot take from you: the ability to say no. The discipline to look stupid for a decade while building something indestructible. The courage to drive through fancy neighborhoods in your paid-off Honda Civic with sun-bleached paint, knowing you are accumulating freedom while they are accumulating bills and insomnia. This is your weapon. Use it. But pushing the rock requires daily strategy. It's no use having the vision if you don't have the tactical discipline. Many of you ask me, "Buck, I understood the theory, but what do I do on Monday? What do I do on Tuesday when temptation strikes? I can't be there in your living room to hold your hand and take the credit card away, but I can give you the battle orders." I compiled the exact war protocol that I use and that saved my financial life. It is not a fluffy self-help book with motivational quotes. It is a field manual for the trenches. It is called The Order of the Day: 365 high-impact actions for your financial sovereignty. 1 action per day. No excuses, no fluff. If you want to stop guessing, stop suffering, and start executing like a professional, the link is in the first pinned comment. Get your copy, receive your order, and go to war against mediocrity. Keep your numbers clear and your soul free. I am Buck, and you can count on me. See you in the next chapter.